Welcome to Basin Head Fisheries Museum, which is where the province's last surviving ice boat lives at present. It's a remarkably simple craft. It looks flimsy. You wouldn't think that you want to trust your life getting across 9 miles of water and ice in the wintertime, but it was, for all of its flimsy lookingness, a remarkably safe thing to do. If you were a passenger, by the 1880s especially, it was quite a setup that they had up at Cape Traverse. You would take the railway right to where the ice boat would leave from. You'd stay at the Cape Traverse Hotel the night before, and the day of the crossing, usually there'd be 3 boats going across. You would simply, after your breakfast, show up at the hotel a veranda, and they'd load you onto a buggy, and they'd load the ice boats onto horse and wagons, and they'd take you down to the shore. And once you got to the edge of the ice, simply depending on what kind of ticket you had, you either sat in the boat and let them haul you along, or if you had what was called a strap ticket, because this was the strap, you didn't actually have to haul the boat along if you had a strap ticket, but they were cheaper. They were $3 for a seat, $2 for a strap, and you're probably going to want to be out and walk along with the boat anyway, because it's a fairly long time to be sitting still out in the cold. The main reason that the ice boats were brought into service wasn't so much for passenger traffic, but for winter communication. It was to make sure that for the 4 to 6 months of the year when the harbors were iced up and the sailboats couldn't get to the mainland, that there'd be a way to get the mail, bags of mail from Prince Edward Island over to the mainland and then back. The mail was the most important part of the whole crossing. The passenger traffic was bonus to be able to make a little more money, but the ice boat crews were subsidized by the provincial government and later on by the federal government to get the mail to and from the island. That's why they went three times a week. The several occasions when there would be a disaster, that's always how the headlines went: disaster at the Capes. On occasion, the ice boats wouldn't be able to make the crossing. And essentially what they would do is the ice boat captain would make a go, no-go kind of decision halfway across. If it looked like the ridges were going to be too high to get the boat over, or he wouldn't be able to get around in time, the captain's decision was to whether to keep going or to turn back and try again the next day. And usually they guessed right. On occasion they would guess wrong, and an ice boat or 2, or on one occasion 3, would be caught out on the ice overnight if they were lucky, in the worst instances for 2 or 3 days. And in all of those cases, though, the proudest thing that the captain and crew would be able to say at the end of the trauma was that they'd gotten the mail there safely. There was one time when 3 ice boats were caught out for 2 nights and 3 days on the ice. Another day, and people probably would have started to die. But even stuck out on the middle of the Northumberland Strait in freezing rain and snow with nothing but one of these overturned to huddle under, and nothing but another one of these broken up for firewood. Even in that extreme circumstance, the captain and crews refused to break into the mail bags and see if there was anything to eat, or certainly if there was anything that they could burn to keep themselves alive. In that instance, they were literally willing to risk their lives to make sure that the mail got safely to the other side.